Hi, this is Jacques Taylor, and you're listening to Jacques Talk. This is a podcast where I talk about the Cowboys, the team I've covered as a beat writer, columnist, TV insider, and radio host for 28 years. I'll also talk about the NFL and the things I love, working out, streaming, food, and all things down. Welcome to Jacques Talk, where sports is fluid. What's true today might not be true an hour, a day, or a month from now. I'm going to give you the truth straight, no chaser. Glad to have you aboard. Let's get it. Entertain and dazzle for the next 60 minutes or so as we go over some things with the Cowboys. Talk to Clarence Hill Jr., who's brought to you each and every Friday by Smokey John's Barbecue, and take a quick trip around the block. Now, that being said, I always like to tell you, you can find me on Twitter at JJT Journalist. Make sure my handle is I am Jacques Taylor. As I like to tell y'all, if you think you follow me, you probably don't because my account got deleted. A long story that I promise to share with y'all at some point. Follow the YouTube channel. Subscribe and like it. We need that to keep the show going. It's at Jacques Talk on YouTube. You can also hit us up on Instagram at The Real Jacques Talk. We are on social media looking for you. Facebook, it's Jacques Talk. So it ain't hard to find. Just make sure you like and subscribe so you can keep up with all the things we got going on, including a chance to win 2 tickets to the Mavericks. You need a date on Valentine's Day? I got you. Stay tuned and we'll tell you how to subscribe. But first, you got to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe there, and that makes you eligible to win the tickets. Hey, check them out. They're in section 115. Just call up the section, the arena, see what 115 is, and know why you want to be there. My book, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders and the Making of Men. You can find it wherever you buy books. I spent the entire 2022 season with Deion Sanders in Jackson, Mississippi. Yes, I did survive Jackson. It really wasn't as bad as I thought. And the book is a fascinating look at Deion, why he does what he does, and what will make him ultimately successful at Colorado. We also like to remind you that anytime, danger, danger, danger. Let's see if my book can mysteriously appear back where it was. I don't know how it fell. And there it is. Don't worry about that light-colored hand. That's just one of our friends. Somewhere Joe is shaking his head like, what the hell is going on over there at Trinity Groves? If you've ever been involved in an accident and it's not your fault, what you got to do, what you must do, what you need to do, what you'd be in trouble if you don't already have his phone number locked in your phone, is call 972-934-8900. When they pick up the phone, they say, hi, this is Green Law, may I help you? You say, hey, here's my name. This is my situation. And I'm telling y'all, and I can't tell y'all enough, I can't emphasize this enough, if they bring you on as a client, it's been a great day for you. And here's why. Greening Law is all about walking you through the process if you've been involved in an accident and you've gotten hurt through somebody else's negligence. Normally we're talking about auto accidents or trucking accidents, but it could also be medical malpractice or property accidents. It could be workplace litigation. It could be sexual assault litigation. It could be inpatient suicide cases and birth injuries. Any of that stuff where somebody else's negligence has caused you some harm, Greening Law is the people you want riding with you. You need a doctor? They'll find you a doctor. You need a specialist because you got some certain problems in some areas? They'll find you a specialist. They'll make the appointment. They'll walk you through this entire process that can be kind of long and tedious and scary. They do all of that, man. And that's why you need to pick up the phone and call them at 972-934-8900 if you're ever involved in an accident and it's not your fault. What I always like to remind people is Greening Law takes care of all of these things so you can really focus on 2 things: healing and renewal. Renewal and healing. Get your mind right, get your body right, get your life back. That's really what they want you to have. Did you hear that? Get your mind right, get your body right, and get your life back. That's what they want to happen. So give Greening Law a call, 972-934-8900. One of y'all has already called Greening Law. They brought you on as a client. That's what I'm saying. This is real talk. That's what they do. That's how they help you. So give him a call. Robert Green does great stuff in the community, and he's the kind of guy you want walking with you through this kind of long, tedious, sometimes scary process. Dog, we talked a little bit the other day. We talked a lot the other day about the Dallas Cowboys fan base. And much like Matt McLaren, who's one of the biggest Cowboy fans I've ever met, my boy Big John the Big Rig is also a big Cowboys fan. He got an emotional attachment. He's a little more analytical than Matt, but still, he classifies as a fan.
Oh, yeah.
He played football, so he got a little insight that maybe some fans don't. And he's emotional, but he's not so emotional he's not open to reason. And so we asked the other day, why is the fan base so pissed? Because this fan base right now seems a little angrier than I remember them being. And your answer to that was what, Duff?
I don't know, man. We just tired of the bullshit. To paraphrase what I said the other day is you get tired of doing the same old thing over and over again, you know.
Right, they call that insanity.
Yeah.
Now, those who are bigger fans, like, you know, you can classify fans in a lot of different categories. Like, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm a graduate, but I'm a fan. But I'm not the kind of fan that's going to be calling for the coach to get fired because they lost this game or that game, Michigan in particular, this year. I'm not the kind of fan that's going to be on message boards. I couldn't even tell you the last time I've been on an Ohio State message board. I follow recruiting to a degree, but I'm not going to be the kind of guy on Twitter who @s some recruit who decommits and goes somewhere else and says, I can't believe you went here, you loser.
Yeah, that's a little.
Your word is nothing.
That's a little too much right there.
But dude, there's a whole lot of fans who do that. Like in Buffalo, I'm not the kind of fan that would @ the kicker and say, I wish you die, hope your family dies, to the point where he has to get rid of Twitter.
Did they do that?
Fans like that.
They didn't do that, did they?
Yeah, they did. This is a true story, man. He deleted his Twitter account because he was getting death threats and all this other stuff. And this is not unusual, sadly. This happens quite frequently. Right, so there are various types of fans. But let me tell y'all, if you're not up to date, what the truest, deepest fans are, in my opinion. Those are the relatives of the players on the team. And here's why. Again, in my opinion, here's why. Number one, a fan like Joe got an emotional investment. All right? That's his hometown team. He wants his team to win. Very understandable. Like I said, I got an emotional investment in Ohio State. Went to school there. Want my guys to win. When your family plays on the team, like when my son played at DeSoto, not only did I have an emotional investment, I had a personal investment. Like, I want my dude to experience this or that. Why are these coaches preventing my dude from experiencing this or that? Why did the coaches do this? Now, here's the difference between me and some other folks. I kept that to myself. Like, I'm that guy, when my son was on the team, well, part of his senior year, I was a sideline reporter, so I could only talk on the radio. But the other time, all throughout his career, DeSoto, 7th grade, 8th grade, whatever, I stood to myself. I never talked to fans, other players' parents about the team. I never indulged in that because we all had personal investments in it. And when you got a personal investment, you can really get super duper emotional about things because you want your own personal investment to do well. And sometimes that could be at the expense of the team. But anyway, last week, the Cowboys players' personal investments, they went crazy. And here's what I mean, and I mean that in not a real crazy way, but here's what I mean. You had Ceedee Lamb's mama talking about Dak. You heard me? Ceedee Lamb's mama on Facebook talking about Dak. You had Michael Parsons' brother talking about how they ought to use him. And then you had, now I don't know those other two people. I know Tad Prescott. I've talked to him 2 or 3 times. We just exchanged some text messages. Good dude. He's out there talking about the fan base. And so, now I had my own theory, but Doug, why do you think it is that the mama, the brother, and the brother came out so strong about whatever they had to say about the franchise this week?
It's really the times that we in. You have a platform now. You have a platform. Back in the day,
that's a great point.
Yeah, back in the day, you didn't have a platform. You know, maybe you talked to a reporter. Maybe a reporter went, "Nah, I ain't putting that out on." You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not enough. I mean, right. you was in the business before social media. Would you have taken what the mama said about Dak? You probably would have been like, "Nah, I ain't doing that." But she got her own platform, and then we got 1 million people can look at that. So that's the biggest thing is it's available.
No, that's a great point. That people have an opportunity to express, and not only that, everybody can. People want to be seen, and people want their opinions heard. And now, whether you do it on a podcast or whether you do it on Facebook or social media, you can get that point out. The other thing is, if you think your particular relative on the team, like in this case, if I was mad at Claude Mathis and DeSoto because my son didn't play a certain way, I might take a shot at them because it couldn't be my son. My son is great. So it had to be the defensive scheme that they were using. Y'all did not put my son in position to play well. Claude Mathis is this or he's that. That's what I would do if I was that kind of person and I thought my son was being wrong or didn't play, and I couldn't say, well, damn, he just didn't play good. It could never be his fault. Yeah, always got to be somebody else's fault. And so I think you're looking at the disappointment of the loss, the surprise of the loss. Like I said, nobody thought Green Bay would beat Dallas. And if they did beat them, we thought it'd be crazy like it had been the last time. You make a 50-yard field goal at the buzzer. There's some kind of great fluky play in the fourth quarter that turns it. Nobody thought they'd get smoked the way they got smoked. And when that happened, them people are catching heat from other people. Hey, man, what happened to your Cowboys? Why your son didn't do this? Why your brother didn't do that? And so I think they went, and they got frustrated with it and lashed out. Let me get your thoughts on this, man. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, let me get your thoughts on this. Ceedee Lamb's mama fired the first grenade.
Yeah.
She put this on Facebook, and then somebody went and took it to Twitter, and it hit the masses.
Yes.
She put out there, Dak isn't it, in capital letters.
He ain't it. Dak is not it. Dak is not it. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
dude, then somebody said, tell the youngin to come to the home team, which would be the Saints. No, which would be the Texans. CJ would love him. Here go Dak mama. Shit, I wish he would. CJ is great.
Oh, my goodness.
And then finally, she says, this is the mama now.
Yeah.
This is the mama. Ceedee Lamb's mama.
I hear you.
They need to get rid of his ass. It's guys on that team that want a ring. They work too hard.
Yeah.
And then somebody replied, nope, bitch ass. They referring to Dak when they said that. And here she go. He don't want to win a ring. What? What do you think make a mama say that about her son's quarterback? After a year where that same quarterback helped him do what, Doc? Set the franchise record in targets and yards and help him become an all-pro receiver and score 12 touchdowns this year.
Well, I was gonna say, first of all, that little what that tore my ears up, but good Lord, we gonna have to talk about that. But I rank the mama. When the mama say something, I was going, before you said all of that, which sets up the question that you asked, is pretty good. I was thinking, man, the mama trumps the brother, because I think mama got a little intel from Ceedee. That's what I think. I would say what the brother said, what he said, but the mama has a feeling, the mama has some intel. I think it's pretty close right now. I think Ceedee is frustrated. I think she reading that just right. I think she don't need to be saying that stuff. We all think that, but man, it's crazy. I mean, what do you say to Dak? What do you say to Dak when you come back in the locker room? And Dak done met his mama before. Understand?
And she done hugged up on, hey, baby, how you doing? Next time you around the time, come get some food. Yep. I got a plate for you waiting for you on the stove.
Oh, all of that.
I don't know, man. I have two different theories. One of them is, and one of my boys used to say this all the time, and I now co-sign on it, which is, if you Ceedee, and I put this on Twitter, somebody said, Ceedee got to come out and defend his quarterback. And I said, well, what if Ceedee has taken the stance of, I don't want to legitimize bullshit by talking about it. If I sit up here and talk about it, that gives some legitimacy to it that maybe I don't want to give to it. That's one way to look at it.
Defend his quarterback against who? Against who? Against everybody else or his mama? No, hell no.
His mama's
no, you ain't. Hell no. You gonna tell mama? No, you gonna put some stuff on Twitter? You might say, "Hey man, my mom is a little bit. She got a little bit upset." And you might remove yourself, but I don't think you go at mama on no.
No, I'm not saying you go at mama. I'm saying the reason why you don't say anything is you don't want to legitimize it. If I start talking about it, that gives it some legitimacy. If I don't talk about it,
in today's world, it's got some legitimacy anyway. Because 50% of the people gonna believe. The people that don't like that gonna side with mama anyway. She just adding fuel to the fire.
Now that comes up with a whole another conversation, which is an exit ramp. I don't know that we want to take right now, but it's a good conversation. Which is, at what level do you be like, I can't get caught up with what other people think. I know Dak. Y'all don't. I'm talking about the collective y'all. Y'all don't know Dak, so me and Dak are good. I don't need to sit up here and tell y'all something. If I got something to say to Dak, I just call him up, text him up. Here you go.
But are y'all good though?
I mean, that's one way to look at it.
Are y'all good?
Huh?
Is him and Dak good?
I think they are, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know.
I don't know either, but it don't look like it.
The nature of their relationship.
I don't know. I don't know either, but it damn sure don't look like it.
Why do you say that?
Because of the way they played the last game. Because of the BS that went on. I'm just going from a fan standpoint. It don't look like they was good to go. They waited till late in the game to play. They screwed off a lot. Don't get me started on that boy quitting again. I don't want to repeat myself. I just think it's garbage the way they play.
I hear you. I think and we haven't been able to. They have not been available to speak to, so nobody knows the answer. But I think you have to try to get to the why and try to get to the real why. And I think it'll come out at some point, but I don't know when that point is. I have an idea, but I don't know for sure when that point will occur and what exactly happen, and then get a chance to match stories to see if they all make sense. But that was Ceedee's mom came out first. And then you had your boy, Michael Parsons' brother came out. And I had never even heard of Michael Parsons' brother. And that's why I'm always like, are they just trying to chase clout? Or what are they, what's the motive? What are you trying to do? And Michael Parsons' brother came out, and I'm looking, I thought I had saved this right here. And he says this is Terrence Parsons. He says, this is why Micah is at linebacker, first and second down with the option to rush the passer is what we always need. And we pay him what he's worth regardless because we want to win championships. And then a couple days later, and this is what me and Joe are discussing, like CeeDee Lamb said, I ain't saying nothing. Michael Parsons came out, and he puts on Twitter, any comments made by Clarence Parsons Jr. are his and his alone. As you know, if I had something to say, I'm not afraid to say it. I love my team, my brothers on the team, and the city of Dallas, and I'm more committed than ever to bring a championship to the greatest fan base on earth. Now, about a day after that, here's what Terrence Parsons had to say on his podcast.
Oh, man, I just want to clear up that any comments that I do make are my own. Micah has nothing to do with any of that. He doesn't, he doesn't give me any type of inside information or anything like that. He makes his own decisions. I make my own decisions. Anything I say should not be in any way put in his mouth like it's coming from him. Other than that, like, people who want to twist my words up, I'm always going to speak the truth. I'm a real fan. I don't do any fair weather fans or anything like that. I don't hate on any of the players. No disrespect comes from my way. I just, I point out the game film. I make my opinions. I make my comments. And that's all.
That's the response you get when your brother get in your ass and say, what the hell are you doing, dog? Shut the F up.
Yep. Be quiet.
That's what happened. That's what happened. And this is what happened when people don't understand and maybe he did understand, maybe he didn't understand what would happen if he put that out there. Nobody twisted your words, Doc. Everybody understood what you said. Y'all ain't using my brother in the right spot, and that's why we lost. Now, that's your opinion, and that's cool, but ain't nobody twist your words, bro. And now you got put in your place because your brother said, "What the hell are you doing, man? Shut up."
Well, can't nobody
all this drama.
Can't nobody twist your words when you put it out on the platform like that. You know, when people can
that's
just
why athletes like the platform.
Yeah, they can replay stuff. Can't nobody twist it when they can replay it. You know, and that's the whole thing. Is everybody want a piece of fame? You know, if I'm Michael Parsons' brother. Bruh. You know, if I'm Michael Parsons' brother, I'm just gonna be Michael Parsons' brother. I ain't, you know, we gonna hang out and do some stuff. I don't know about getting on the podcast and saying stupid stuff. I don't know about that.
Right, and this is all built from emotions. And why are they emotions? Because you love your brother. You want your brother's team to do well. You want your brother to be all that he can be and lead the league in sacks and be the defensive player of the year and be the highest paid player of the year. You want all that for your brother because you love him. Yeah. And when that doesn't happen, these emotions spill over. And if you haven't been taught to control them or contain them, this is what you get.
Now on that statement right there with the brother, I do believe the brother kind of went rogue for some reason. I don't know why I feel like that. I think the brother went rogue. Now mama is a whole different thing. I think Ceedee might have complained to her a little bit. That's what I think. That's just me.
I don't know, because again, I don't even know, because people got different relationships with their people, and you know, you would think mama is a certain kind of relationship, but we don't really know. Mm-hmm. And you know, some people have I'm just saying, like,
I know what you're saying.
If I was a player, you might be like, well, that might be Jacques might be saying that because I know he talked to his mama every day. Yeah. And go by a house and spend every day over there for 30 or 40 minutes. Whereas somebody else, a friend of mine this morning said, I used to talk to my mama every 3 or 4 days. I done cut it back to once a week because she get on my nerves, and everything I say, she got something to say about it, and she thinks she know everything. Mm-hmm. Well, when his mama put that out there, because she still loves him the same way my mother loves me, well, you don't know if that came from him or if that's her interpretation of it or what.
Ask your friend if he gonna feel like that when she gone. So I would have got on his ass just a little bit, but that's an exit ramp right there.
That is an exit ramp because, again, we say that because we had great relationships with our mothers from the start.
Yeah, true that.
I don't know that everybody has a great relationship with their mother. Some people can't stand their mother for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
And so, you know, that's why that's an exit ramp. That's a great conversation, though.
Yeah. Well said, though. That's about as nice. I'm not being nice to you no more. That's, you know what I'm saying. It's kind of getting it's kind of getting sweet up in here. Go on with that. Yeah.
I guarantee we're gonna get some tweets on. I can't believe Joe was nice he did. Let's cut that out. Let's get back to what it is.
Yeah, they don't know you like I do, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know. You make sure they know that too.
Yeah.
Then there's my man Tad Prescott, who again, he's a great dude. But I have a difference of opinion with Tad when it comes to this. He put out there, Cowboy fans who continue to DM me, trust me in capital letters. If I could get Dak to leave Dallas, I would. I too want him out of Dallas. The city and organization have been great to him and our family, but I'm done with the drama and the so-called fans. But he loves this team and he wants to bring it rings. Tad, you should have been in this game long enough as Dak's brother. It's like this in every one of the other 31 cities if you the quarterback and you ain't winning no championships. The fan base is mad. Now, there might be different degrees of mad, but what do you I'm just telling you, dog. What do you think they're saying about Josh Allen in Buffalo this week? What do you think they're saying about Tua in Miami the weekend that they lost to Buffalo? What do you think they're going to say about Mahomes? Maybe not Mahomes because he is the GOAT. But what do you think some folks are going to say in Kansas City if they don't win in Baltimore? Oh, now let's flip it. We know what they're going to say in Baltimore if the Ravens lose this week, what they're going to say about Lamar Jackson. If you're going to be an elite or borderline elite starting quarterback in the National Football League, which entitles you to a salary of $40 or $50 million a year, which you have earned through your performance, then I got to tell you, bro, dealing with fan abuse is just part of the job. Don't mean you have to like it. Don't mean you have to interact with them. Don't mean you have to accept it per se. But it's just part of the gig. And, you know, that's why a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of professional athletes at the highest level say, what? I turn off my social media. I don't get caught up in that. I got somebody to run my page to put the stuff out I want. And then I just let it be because there's not enough positivity out there.
It's all that times 10 when you the Dallas Cowboy quarterback.
True that.
Because it ain't like no other place in the whole world. Your owner ain't like no other place in the world. This city, America's team, the hatred for the Cowboys. So it's times 10 when the people outside your fandom hate you, and then the people inside your fandom giving you problems. It's times 10 versus any. I slightly disagree with that because it's times 10 versus anywhere else. We booed, not we. Hell no. People from Dallas booed Troy Aikman after 3 Super Bowls.
I wrote a story about that.
He got booed. Are you kidding me?
I was shocked against San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. So it's you the Dallas Cowboys, and people couldn't wait for Troy to fail. People can't wait for the Cowboys. You know how much grief I get from everybody in the world? People post more stuff about the Cowboys than they do their own damn team. I got a friend of mine went to high school with, post more Cowboy stuff. Fool, the Eagles lost too. You jackass. What is you posting? You know, your team lost and you still posting Cowboy stuff. What's wrong with you? But that's what I'm saying is times 10. And you know, I'm gonna give Tad some leeway because there was so many people that dog Dak. Like we need to get a quarterback who can throw. We need to get a quarterback who can do this. We need to get. I mean, for all the stuff he does that he don't do that we get mad at him about. There's a lot of things that he does or he do that people just make up, man. They just, you know, I think he's been unfairly criticized a lot, you know, especially when they didn't have no receivers and stuff like that. So Tad kind of going off, he kind of riffing off of that, you know.
Well, why has he been unfairly criticized? To me, it's a very easy answer. It's because when he got the job, half the people still thought Tony Romo was better for the job. Mm-hmm. And so people who loved Romo, they've always wanted Dak to fail so that they could say, see, Romo was better. I mean, that's very obvious to me.
Yeah, I wanted Romo back. I wanted Romo to get his job back, but I never held that against Dak. You know, they just moved on. Yeah. I thought Tony would be a better. I thought when Tony got healthy, he should have got his job back. We probably would have been, you know, closer to a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, we would have been because Tony was that much better of a quarterback. But they decided to stay with Dak. You know, I thought that was a mistake. I want the old man to get his job back.
That remind me of when Aikman was in his early years and he got hurt and he gave the job to Berline until they got down, at halftime of the Lions game.
Yeah, he came back.
Put him in there, and he looked like a guy who hadn't played in 6 weeks, and they got beat 38-6. And,
I watched that.
Next year he came back and won the Super Bowl.
I think I watched that 3:00 in the morning on a 19-inch TV in Korea, maybe. I think so.
And I'm sure you was wondering, like, why am I staying up to watch this slop?
Oh, I couldn't believe Troy got back in. But also, the Cowboys was in the playoffs. You know, when I left, they sucked. You know, I think I left in 90. Yeah. Right. They came back. You know, I got back in 92. And from overseas and all of that crap. And they was going to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the Cowboys fan base. Everybody mad. Everybody frustrated about this season, whether it's Dak's brother Tad, whether it's Terrence Parsons, Michael Parsons' brother, or Ceedee Lamb's mama. Yeah. Everybody mad these days. On that note, let's give my man Clarence E. Hill a call and see what he has to say about the state of the Cowboys. He's brought to you each and every Friday by Smokey John's Barbecue. The food to live for.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Waiting on y'all. What's going on?
Okay, all right, man. This is Clarence Hill Jr., the Fort Worth Star Telegram, the longest tenured beat writer, Dallas Fort Worth. The E stand for what, Joe?
Don't do it. I was gonna say, don't do it. E stand.
E stand for every time he come on, I got to find out something that the E stand for.
There you go.
Hey,
you gonna beat it to death. All right, then.
Yes. Hey, man, we just got through talking about this. I'm interested to hear your take on it. I understand he's mad. I understand why the media is mad. Why are the relatives and the mamas mad? Whether it's CeeDee Lamb's mama, Terrence Parsons, or Tad Prescott.
Is the media mad? I mean, when the media get mad, I mean, we've seen this movie before. I mean, it's proper.
I might not. Hey, man, hit dogs holler. I'm not necessarily talking about you. I'm talking about the media in general. And a lot of when I say the media, I'm referring to the national media. And I say they're angry because of the vitriol coming out. It's not just they lost. It seems like it's some anger. But anyway, does it matter that the mamas and the brothers are mad?
At the end of the day, it doesn't. It's just the world we live in. That everybody has a social media account and everybody, experts and have opinions on everything. Terrence Parsons, I didn't even know he has his own YouTube account. He does podcasts. I mean, the fact that family members are becoming celebrities themselves because they're family members of a player, it's crazy to me. But that's where we are, And certainly Tad Prescott was doing at one point doing his own podcast and thing basically off his brother's name, so to speak, and so that's out there. Michael did the right thing to distance himself from his brother's comment. There's big money coming down the pike for Michael. Don't mess up the contract, son. Don't mess up this Cowboys.
Don't mess up the bag with your big mouth.
This Cowboys organization you're talking about that's doing them wrong is potentially going to make him the highest paid defensive player ever. And so right. None of that makes any sense. That somehow the Cowboys are holding Michael back. I mean, some of the stuff that's come out the last couple of weeks is just crazy to me. And it's heard that CeeDee Lamb's mom, my understanding from back channel communication, that she was hacked. I don't know if you know anything about being hacked, but the word is she was hacked. And so
she was not hacked.
That's a nice cover up right there. My mama was hacked.
Yeah.
I mean, I was legitimately hacked one time, but she was not hacked.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you was
hacked. Sure.
Yeah,
anyway,
we know.
My point is, so somebody hacked you and only ripped that. Somebody hacked you. The only thing they did in your account was rip that.
Yeah.
They didn't do nothing else. They just ripped back. You was hacked. Anyway, it is crazy. That's the world we live in. But that's like I tweeted last week. There's no drama like Cowboys drama, and so you had the drama of their loss and how they lost, and Jerry Jones let Mike McCarthy twist for about 3 days before he decided to bring it back, and then all the stuff with the family members came out over the weekend. It's been a quiet week so far this week. We're finally distancing ourselves, I guess, from the loss and moving on to the teams that are still playing. But, we get, one thing that I get to talk to Jerry Jones next week at the Senior Bowl. And so Jerry Jones has not talked at all since the decision to bring Mike back. And so it was at the Senior Bowl last year that Jerry said, I want Dak here for the next 10 years. He and Steven both said, we want Dak here the next 10 years. Which leads you to believe after last year's bad.
The next 10 years.
Yeah, that was after last year's interception-prone season. This year, he has his MVP caliber season, certainly flamed in the playoffs. If y'all wanted him back last year, what y'all gonna say this year? Or is he now on the Mike McCarthy prove it or move on 1-year deal? Going to 2024, all those coaches have to be asked, and certainly we're going to talk to Jerry next week at the Senior Bowl.
Well, I'd like to ask everybody this, and I've asked all my friends and colleagues in the business that I've talked to over the last week this. There's a Dak dilemma. I don't know that there's a good answer, but what would you, Clarence Hill Jr., general manager, do with Dak Prescott? You going to sign him, or you going to let him walk into the last year of his contract?
Yeah, that's, listen, that's a tough question. Like I said, the problem here is this, is that Dak has all the leverage going into this offseason and next offseason. Because if you let him go into the final year of his contract without doing anything, and you can't trade him, and you can't tag him, you can't stop him from hitting free agency, all the stuff that Tad is talking about, well, I want Dak out of here because of the fan and the lack of support from the fan base, that could become a reality. You could potentially see him walk without getting anything for him and not having a replacement.
Okay.
And right. So
that's why I said that's why I want to know what Clarence Hill, the GM, would do.
Well, first of all, Clarence Hill, the GM, would have probably made a move at head coach before after that embarrassing loss to Green Bay, but they didn't do that, and just listen right. to Mike. Mike is all in on Dak. If you listen to what Mike says and what he said, he's all in on Dak. And if you're going to be all in on Mike, you have to be all in on Dak. Whether that's for 1 year and make it happen or multi years. The Cowboys have been so concerned with their cap and how they can make their cap work. I think that's one thing that Steven has always been concerned with their cap. From a cap standpoint, I'm not answering the question because it's a tough question.
You're not answering the question.
I am not. I'm waffling. I am waffling, and that's where I am because even as a
why are you waffling?
Even as a so-called Dak guy, if you go all it's hard to commit the dollars and resources going forward if you don't know he's ultimately the guy to get to the Super Bowl. The other flop part is that if you move off of him, you could be back on that journey from Troy Aikman to Tony Romo, where you never find a quarterback for a decade. And so,
I think,
yep.
And
I think that's the hard part for people.
Yeah, it is that tough part. The question is, and again, I think that my issue with the whole thing is that you look at the NFC Championship game, and these are quarterbacks who I think Dak is better than, who are there. And right. To me, coming to the season, that's why I thought this could be the Cowboys' year. There's no Big Bad Wolf. There's no Aaron Rodgers. There's no historic quarterback to say, like on the AFC side, that's going to keep you out. And
right,
you can say that Dak's poor quarterback play contributed to that loss, but you can't look at any of these guys and say they're winning because of that quarterback.
Yeah. I think the team that Dak walks away from is not going to be the team that he inherited when he came here. Like, you can drop a Brock Purdy in the team that Dak inherited when he got here because they had all pros at every, Pro Bowlers at every level, just like the 49ers do. That's why Brock Purdy can do what he's doing.
No, there's no question of that. And so, and that's the thing what the Cowboys decide is that I believe and they believe they can still win because look out there, there's no Big Bad Wolf. Yes, we have to get better as a team, but I don't think Dak, the quarterback, is holding them back from not winning. And again, as I continue to say, when the Cowboys fail in the playoffs, it is a complete failure on both sides of the ball. And they got to find a way from a mental standpoint of what's stopping them from playing their best football when it matters most. It's funny to me because you talk about the media, and I've listened to some of the local media, and I listen to some of the local radio shows, and but even locally, everybody's like, they need to, like, the Cowboys somehow need to blow it up or do something different. How do you blow it up? I mean, they were 12-5, and let's listen to Troy the other day, and he talked about the distractions, and we can talk about the distractions. But I'm with Troy. How the distractions did not stop you, and Jerry didn't stop you from going 12-5. It's only when it's why does it not affect you during the regular season, only in the playoffs? Jerry's meddling or whatever else he's done. It doesn't stop you from going 12-5 each of the last 3 years. You're going 12-5 and winning 4 games when you lose your starting quarterback. It's only when the playoffs, when all these other things seem to come in play, the entitlement. I mean, I just think it's whether it's Mike or somebody needs to get in there and find out why they can't turn it on or continue to play as they play in the regular season in the playoffs. But I don't think it's necessarily they don't have the right players, they don't have the right this or that. It's something that's stopping them from playing their best football in the playoffs. And I don't know if blowing it up does that.
So are you signing him to an extension, or are you letting him play out this year?
He said, answer the damn question.
Thank you. I mean, all that was sweet.
I'm signing to an extension.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know, man. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you. Appreciate you.
I'm signing Micah. I'm signing in Ceedee. Bringing Tyrus Smith back.
I think you make a good point in that I really believe it's a mental thing. And now, mental things are very burdening. They're very hard to break through. But if you can break through them, if you can go through the storm and get to the other side, you become stronger and better for it. And you look no further, real talk, as much as it pains me to say this. Look at how Ohio State handled Michigan all those years, 15 out of 16. And then look what happened when they finally got through the mental part and broke through. Okay? They ended up with 3 wins in a row in the national championship because they finally broke through. And it takes, what happened for them to break through? They had a class come in, and that, some of those guys were just like, nah, we've gonna figure out a way to end it. And that's what happens. And for Ohio State to get it back, they have to have a series of guys who go, yo, this is unacceptable. We will end it. And they figure out a way to do it. And so the Cowboys, they have the talent, I think, but it's up to guys like Dak and Ceedee and Micah to persevere and figure out how to uplift themselves and play their best football when it matters most. And that, to me, is a mental thing, not a physical thing.
Yeah, it's clearly mental. And he's like, again, I talked to Troy the other day, and he's like, this dude here, put off his vacation plan. He just knew the Cowboys. He watched the Cowboys all year. And Troy's not like Michael, who's just unabashedly Cowboys. I don't care what it is. I mean, he's always had a critical eye, and he thought the Cowboys would be an NFC Championship game. He thought it was set up. He said, I watched all these teams all year. He did not book a vacation. His season ended 2 weeks ago. As an ESPN analyst. Did not book a vacation because he just knew he wanted to be in San Francisco when the Cowboys played the 49ers for the championship game. This is Troy Aikman. This is, again, not Michael, and who just, is just wears, his Cowboys blue pom-poms all the time. Aikman's not like that. He felt this team, watching during the year, that they had the making of getting to the championship game. So, yeah, none of it makes any sense. And I don't think, we talked to Mike McCarthy last year, is still wrong, and I just talked to some people in the Cowboys organization. They're still numb. They are numb. They are still shocked. They still have no answers to why the season unraveled the way it did. Like I said, it's not just they lost, it's how they lost and how they played and how they didn't show up. And so those are questions that they will continue to be asking themselves all the way into the next season.
Yeah, that's crazy. They gave no indication that they was going to do that. They didn't. They played well. They fought to the end, and just to give up the ass just like that—that's crazy. Unbelievable, man.
Hello.
I don't know what happened. He over there playing with his mic.
Dan Quinn. You know what, man? I promise y'all, I did not touch the mic. I didn't touch it at all.
Something happened. I don't know.
Dan Quinn, what do we expect from him?
He's interviewing in Seattle today, Thursday. I know the show airs on Friday, but he's interviewing in Seattle today. He's had a number of face-to-face interviews this week, and we'll see. I mean, it's almost like Bill Belichick was a guaranteed Atlanta last week, right?
Yeah,
and now Atlanta, and now another week later they're interviewing everybody, and Raven went there, and they're waiting for some guys to finish the NFC Championship game so they can interview them, and we all thought that it was a done deal at the end of the season. As soon as the season got all these interviews that Dan Quinn would be out of here and he'd be somebody's head coach, and to me, the best spot would be Seattle if he does go anywhere. But, they're looking at other candidates as well. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing shakes out. And if he does come back, certainly they want him back. But Mike McCarthy gave kind of a milquetoast answer when asked about Dan Quinn in his season in the press conference last week. We'll see, because he's going to have to change some things. He's going to have to change the scheme and do some things different. I know one thing that Michael's brother was right about was he was unhappy with Dan, with the scheme and ultimately how they used him at the end of the season.
Who was unhappy, Micah?
Yes.
Why was he unhappy?
Because apparently, did you see the game?
Probably because they put him. They got his hand in the dirt on first and second down. They don't give him nothing. He getting grabbed by tackles all the time. He don't help in the run game right there. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and the results. The bottom line is the results want what they want. You go with any scheme if you're going to get the results. And when they were getting the results early, you're happy. But at the end of the day, how they were scheming at the end of the season did not work.
Yeah. I finally found out what the E stands for. Every now and then I agree with everything you say. Keep it up, Clarence. It's all good. Yeah, every now and then. Today is today.
As we look into the games this weekend, how do you feel about San Francisco and Detroit?
I'm really rooting hard for Detroit. I like Dan Campbell. I like Aaron Glenn. I love the Detroit story. I love to see Detroit in the Super Bowl, and see again it's come with the Cowboys. Detroit can't get nowhere without being a reference. Detroit got to the Detroit was 0-16. They got to the championship game for the Cowboys. Yeah. Everything has to be in relation to the Cowboys. It's like it's crazy to me, but no, I think that it's a great story. What Jared Goff has had to go through and get kicked out of L.A. and get him back to this point. Certainly, you love Dan Campbell, Glenn Rose kid, Texas A&M kid, former Cowboy. I really always liked him, doing interviews with him. One of my favorite Aggies, getting the same thing with Eric Glenn. Two good people. It's going to be tough. If Debo doesn't play, and Debo hasn't practiced this week, if he doesn't play, that limits that 49ers offense. And again, they have to stop McCaffrey. They have to find a way to stop the run. But I think Detroit can do it for sure, especially if Debo doesn't play. This is not the same 49ers offense, the same 49ers team without Debo Samuel.
No, I think you're right. If Debo doesn't play, I think it's probably a 55-45 kind of 49er edge. If he does play, I think it's more 65-35 that they'll win, 75-25 that they'll win. But the thing that Detroit has, to me, that gives them the George Foreman, Mike Tyson puncher's chance is they can run the ball. And if you can physically impose yourself and run the ball, and as Joe will say, if you can keep banging it and you stay close enough where you can bang it, whether you're gaining 2.9 or 3.2 or whatever, it doesn't matter, because that'll take the pressure off of Jared Goff, and he can kind of pick and choose when he wants to attack. And, if they can survive the first quarter and a half, then it'll be an all-day game, and they'll have a chance at the end. And one thing about them is they're going to try to win the game. You know what I mean? Like they'll do whatever is required to win.
My boy Dan's gonna try to win the game. Like, Dan, just keep the exclamation.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, three attempts.
Dan ain't gonna be unconventional now.
Yeah.
So, like those are hard people to play against, man, because they unconventional.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they can run the ball, but they got that home run hitter too. I mean, they gonna bang you. They got the great 1-2 punch in the backfield. They got speed on the outside. They got some home run hitters too. So it's gonna be a good game. They can protect. They're going to protect. They got a good offensive line.
Well, that Panay Sewell gonna line up on Bosa. And we'll see what Bosa do, because Micah couldn't do nothing. Bless you. Micah couldn't do nothing with him.
Yeah, they got a very good offensive line. Yeah. Sewell is one of the best for sure. So, again, it's going to be a good game. I would like to, personally, if I'm a betting man, I'm certainly betting on the 49ers. But I would like to see Detroit win, for sure.
Agreed.
And then, how you feel about the fight Lamar Jackson's against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Oh, I'm all in on the Baltimore Detroit Super Bowl. It'll be the blackest Super Bowl ever. I'm all in on that. It's gonna be. That's going to listen. Like I was telling a friend of mine last night. I'm Patrick Mahomes is just a different animal, and I tell you what, you better get in this year, okay? Because they're not going to give him a bad receiving core as he has this year, next year. He's going to have a better receiving core next year. And so it's going to be a whole different deal next season. You give him a real receiving core. So you better get him this year. And I think that Baltimore, as much as we talk about Lamar Jackson is great. The difference for Baltimore has been their defense. Their defense is just, we saw what they did to the 49ers and Dolphins in back-to-back weeks, and how they basically shut the Texans down. Everything we loved about Ceedee Stroud, they didn't score a point on offense. I mean, they just shut them completely down, the Texans offense. That Baltimore defense is what you call a real championship defense, not that defense the Cowboys were trying to count as championship down. This is a real championship.
They got real linebackers.
Real linebackers, and that boy they got number 0. Woo.
Number 0.
That's Roquan.
Yeah, Chicago, my body
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith, yes.
And Patrick Queen.
Yes, they are some bad boys. And certainly they fit Baltimore, and so that the difference is their defense is special.
For sure.
Nah, it should be good. One last thing before we let you go, just because you got an opinion about everything. And somebody raised an interesting point.
That sounds like a shot, man. That sounds like a shot, right?
That's not a shot. Some people don't have opinions about anything, and then some people got opinions about everything.
All right.
What do you care about the Baseball Hall of Fame anymore?
Not as much. No, I don't. I'll watch it. I still don't. I mean, it's frustrating me because I think that I think Barry Bonds should be in.
Right.
And so just this whole steroid era, everybody acting like they're God and making decisions on this when this was part of the sport, but it doesn't resonate like it used to. I don't know why, but it doesn't. I mean, I'm really happy for Beltre. If there was, I mean, I don't know if has been a more likable and loved Rangers player, but certainly you have to know Ryan, but Beltre he was just a joy to watch.
Right. Now, Beltre to me is very interesting in this sense. Like, he's such a likable dude, such a fiery competitor, but for him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer with 95% of the vote totals, some of that to me, and I really like Beltre, so this is not a shot at Beltre. Some of that seems to me, because he was so likable, he got so many votes. Because if you go, is Adrian Beltre, Joe DiMaggio, Willie Mays, is he that caliber of greatness? I would say no. He's a step beneath that. When you look at a guy who played 15 years and was an all-star 4 times, even though he got 5 gold gloves, and it just seems just a little weird to me. And it seems that, all these things are politicized. And if you like a guy, you vote for him. And if you don't like a guy because he's a 7-letter cuss word, then you just kind of let him go. And I think baseball has to be real careful about that. Like Joe Mauer. Is Joe Mauer a first ballot Hall of Fame up there with Johnny Bench and Yogi Berra? No,
he's not. He should be in there before Gary Sheffield either. I mean, Gary Sheffield didn't get in, but that goes to the likable thing, and I think that's the problem with a lot of our ballots. Football, same way. People get into who they like, and not who's more deserving, and that kind of takes the ballot to me. But I think Belcher should be in. Should he be 95% in over? When some other guys didn't, barely made it in. That's a different conversation. But certainly being played a role in that for sure.
No, I like Beltre because Beltre is one of them cats who looks like he's having fun playing the game. And too many cats act like it's a chore.
All the way to his last year. I mean, he really enjoyed playing the game. He was a joy to watch for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm a Beltre guy. He was a great player. He was a good dude if you get past the scowl, he's a good dude to work with, all of that stuff. So, no, I got nothing but love for Beltre. It was just an interesting conversation.
Just don't touch the top of his head.
No. I mean, that's one of the funny bits of all time. Him and Andrews acting a fool on pop-ups in the infield. I mean, that they had a stretch, man, but it was just goofy and winning, and it was cool.
And the thing about it is, and that's the thing about it, I'm glad people acknowledge that when they won for Andrews and won for the Beltres of the world, because I wish those guys could experience the winning themselves because they deserved it, But that was one of the cool things, that him and the relationship, the friendship, how they interacted on the field. You got to see it up close and personal.
Nah, it was good times. All right, man, we appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon next week.
I think that's all right.
Thank you.
That's Clarence E. Hill Jr. The E stands for every now and then. Joe agrees with everything he got to say. He's presented to you by Smokey John's Barbecue each and every Friday. Smokey John's Barbecue, 1820 West Mockingbird. It is food to live for. Whatever's on their menu, trust me, it's good. The stuff off the menu, that's even better. I'm talking about the jam session bowl. Me, Joe, Aunt Minnie, we're going to pick one up one of these days whenever they schedule free up because, I'm available this time of year. Don't have to go out to the Cowboys twice a week. So my schedule is very much available to accommodate them whenever that time comes. So I've been waiting to get with them on that. But in the meantime, those of y'all who live in Dallas proper, hey, you can even make a weekend trip. Lots of y'all have done that. Made a trip to Dallas and be like, yo, on the way here, we're going to stop at Smokey John's, pick up that jam session bowl, because it is to live for. Let me tell y'all real quick what it is. It's a bowl with some mac and cheese base or mashed potato base, and then you put 2 out of 5 smoked meats in it. That brisket sausage combo, hard to beat. Then, everything you find in the loaded baked potato, like cheese and chives and bacon bits and sour cream, butter if you get down like that. That's put in it, and then they ask you the most important question. Drizzle it or drench it with that Smokey John's barbecue sauce. I like to drizzle myself, really. I don't like it too soupy, so I like to drizzle. It is to live for, man. It's enough for 2. You got a little shorty, 3 y'all can eat off of it, no problem whatsoever. Now, I do like to tell you, if you need Smokey John's in your life more immediately, you can go to the website, SmokeyJohns.com. Click on the marketplace. You can order the sauce or the rub. They got a new 12-ounce bottle of the rub. You can get that, and you can have Smokey John's in your mouth every day. How about that? If you need it even faster than that, you can go to H-E-B right now. Like, as soon as you stop listening to the podcast, you get where you're going, go to H-E-B in Plano, Burleson, Waxahachie, McKinney, don't matter, Frisco. Go pick up the rub right there. You can have it at your house this afternoon. Throw it on some popcorn for a snack. Throw it on all your foods. It is great. No cap. Real good. Food to live for. Smokey John's Barbecue, 1820 West Mockingbird. Call them. Make an order. Go pick it up. Just get their food in your mouth. It's to live for. We had this conversation, dog, the other day. And so I'm going to ask your opinion cold right now. I put this out on Twitter. I think I know what the people will say, but I'm going to put it out, but I'm going to ask your opinion. The Wire, Boardwalk Empire, The Sopranos. Rank them.
The Wire, number 1. Boardwalk Empire, number 2. And The Sopranos, number 3.
All right. Why'd you rank them like that?
The Wire was more varied in everything. It literally
Talking about from the different seasons
and detectives and the whole newspaper thing, which is something that you probably lived through, where the newspaper was big, and then it was small. How you got one guy, how you had 6 guys covering crime, then it came down to one guy. Right. Just that whole different perspective on things. And then I've been to Baltimore. I spent a week in Baltimore, and I saw some
track meet.
Yeah, that was when Bubba went to Nationals, and
it's amazing. I remember that.
Yeah, I think that was like 06. I think something like that.
Yeah,
and it was a trip to be there, and then actually see, some of the stoops and some of the neighborhoods, because I got lost a couple of times because they highways are jacked up. And I had a 12-year-old trying to help me read a map, but that's a whole nother subject. But I like The Wire because it varied. The Boardwalk Empire, same thing. Period piece, great acting. It kind of hit home with kind of the stuff that Jimmy went through, being a veteran and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know. It's hard. You really splitting hairs when you're ranking them, the 3. So it's really not a big difference. I mean, Sopranos was gangster, but it was still good. I mean, it was just, it was kind of the original shot by HBO that was, kind of Game of Thrones, Sopranos,
did you
Boardwalk
see Game of
Empire.
Thrones?
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I watched that.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I liked it. Right. I watched it. Then when I changed schedules when I'm driving, I didn't do a lot of streaming back then. I don't think it was streaming. I changed schedules, so I had to put it down a couple of years, and then I picked it back up and finished it. And that's the best thing about getting a hold of stuff later on. But yeah, I would say a lot of HBO stuff is good. Now I didn't see Westworld.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I'm not really. It's all right, but you splitting hairs when you rank them 3. But I'm always gonna go with The Wire, and then I like Boardwalk Empire, and then The Sopranos. Sopranos is good, but I don't know. That's my opinion.
Now here's an interesting. I would probably rank them. I would probably rank them the same way you did. I would be splitting hairs too with The Wire. And, I fell in love with The Wire in season 3. I mean, season 1 and 2 was cool. But when Stringer Bell got shot in season 3, and I said they would literally kill anybody in this series. Nobody is safe. And then I like that Brother Mouzone character. That's when I was like, okay, The Wire is the lick.
But that's an HBO. That's an HBO staple, though. Well,
I know, but I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what makes the show great. Because the reason I don't like, this sounds crazy, the reason I don't watch a lot of movies, I don't go to a lot of movies is what? They're not going to kill the star character. No matter what kind of harrowing thing is involved with the star character, that person 99.9% of the time is going to survive. And so it takes some of the element of the suspense out. In these series like this, man, dude, I know they got him cornered and he got 5 guns on him and he don't have no gun and he's standing on the edge of a cliff and you like, well, let's see how he gonna get out of this. And you hear rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, they just pumped him full of lead and then pushed his body over the cliff. He dead. You like, oh, okay, all right. It brings a whole different level of intensity to the show because now you really don't know what's behind every corner. And that's what I liked about those shows. And so it's The Wire for me. The Sopranos started a little slow for me, but in the end, Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, his performance is so superior. I mean, he was a maniacal, schizophrenic sociopath. And the way he could make his eyes and his face contort, I mean, he could really look sinister. And then I read something later that said at one point he thought about he needed to quit the role because of all it took to become that character was taking so much out of him that he was like, I don't know if I can do this because it requires me to go so deep to bring the character to life that it's truly affected my everyday life. And when I read that, I was like, now that is getting into character.
Yeah.
And Boardwalk Empire, the same thing. With what's his name? Enoch
Thompson.
Nookie Thompson.
Mm-hmm. Steve Buscemi.
He too. Yeah, it's just fantastic acting.
Who knew?
Had a lot of gratuitous violence, which I like.
But who knew? Who knew Steve Buscemi could do that? Because he was the goofy guy in all the Adam Sandler movies, the cross-eyed guy, and all that other stuff.
Well, he had, I don't think we ever saw him be truly sinister. I was trying to think, even in Fargo, the movie, he was kind of goofy.
Yeah.
He was cold and calculating, and he too was a sociopath. And it's funny how all these characters, the weird thing about these movies to me is if you're not careful, they make these evil people appear sympathetic.
Oh yeah,
and you have to really catch yourself. Like, you ain't sympathetic.
Most definitely.
Bro, I'm not falling for that.
Yeah.
And you true, because you can get there feeling sorry for Tony, man. You can feel sorry for some of these characters.
So that's like the movie Hustle and Flow. You want the pimp to win. You want him to get a record deal,
right?
He threw the lady out. He threw the baby out. He threw the lady out with a baby and the walker. He threw the walker too. And we over going, man. I hope DJ get a deal. Oh my God. Yeah, right. We hoping the pimp get a deal. Come on, man. The pimp and the drug dealer. Yeah.
Yeah, dog. It's amazing the way they do it with these characters and that development. Last thing, who was your favorite character in each of those shows?
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one. It's supposed to be hard.
Let's see. The Wire. Probably. I want to say Omar, but probably Bunk. Probably Bunk was my favorite character.
How come?
Because he was a stocky guy like me,
right?
And the ladies loved him, and he talked so much shit. I mean, see, there you go, Bunk and what's my man's name? What's the dude name? The other detective, the other black detective that solved
Luther.
No, his name ain't Luther. But anyway, he found the
Dollhouse Man.
Yeah, there you go. Him. That was a player right there because he was smart. He had the young woman. Right. He yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, it had to be him or Bunk.
And I was my guy was Omar because that was such a wild character. Because one, he was gay, one, he was all sensitive with his boyfriend. He had these rules to the game, but then he was vicious. He's again one of them evil characters that we trying to make sympathetic. But I really like Marlo for the same reason. Marlo was cold and calculating. And he made he said a lot without saying anything.
Nah, Avon, you gotta like Avon better than Marlo. Marlo didn't care about nobody but Marlo. Avon gave your boy $15,000 for the kid. The boy said, I need $10,000. That's all you need? Man, get that fool 15, man. Go on, take them kids. He had a human. He was bad, but he had a human side to him. Marlo didn't give a shit about nobody.
No, that's why I liked it. Because he was the one guy who had no humanity.
Yeah, and he survived.
It was all about Marlo. Yeah. sucking on that damn lollipop.
Yeah. All of that.
How about The Sopranos?
I don't know. Edie Falco did something to me. I don't know. She was fine. Yeah. I don't know. The women in The Sopranos were underrated. I'll put it to you like
I would say that.
Artie Bucco's wife was fine as hell, but I don't think nobody noticed. Artie Bucco is the guy on the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the women in The Sopranos. Yeah, Chris's girlfriend was obviously fine, but I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to say the women. Oh, girl.
The doctor, the psychologist.
Yes, Lorraine Bracco.
Dr. Melf. Yeah,
Lorraine Bracco.
Melf.
Yes. Yeah, that's what probably be my favorite characters. Yeah.
My favorite character outside of Tony, this probably make you laugh, was Polly, man. Polly Walnuts.
Yeah.
Because he was crazy.
Yeah, he was out of that.
I mean, he was crazy like for real. And I was just like, this dude is crazy. And then how about Boardwalk Empire?
Jimmy and Richard Harrell.
Yeah, man, I like Richard Harrell. He was a very interesting, unique character, one that you don't see a lot. Dude who had half his face blown off, and I thought he was pretty interesting. But I liked all those shows. I was a little soft on Boardwalk Empire because I'm not really into period pieces per se, but they did it so well, and Nookie Thompson was such a terrific character that Nookie Thompson was such a terrific character that I got through it, and then once I got into it, it was all good.
All of them. Who wasn't though? And in each one of those series, name me a weak character. It's just written.
That's probably why they were great series.
It was well written. I believe. That's the thing about acting. Do you believe this guy? Do you believe that? Do you believe that person? In each one of those shows, I believed every character. It had me wrapped up. I believed every character in every show. The little asshole newspaper guy that was lying about the story that he got. The Asian chick who busted him. The editors and all of that. All that stuff kind of let you peek behind the scenes. Of deadlines and all of that crap. It's crazy, man. It's pretty good stuff. HBO do a pretty good job with that.
No, they do a great job. Great job. So wrap it up. I liked The Wire, The Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire. That's the order for me. Great shows, great television. One of the things I enjoy most is streaming shows because I can do them while I multitask and do some other stuff. But we always got to thank Smokey John's Barbecue and Greening Law. Show doesn't happen without them, especially Greening Law being our title sponsor. They really make it happen. I always like to remind you, get the book, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and the Making of Men, wherever you find your books, Amazon, Walmart.com, BarnesandNoble.com. And then, you can follow me on Twitter at JJT Journalist. I am Jean-Jacques Taylor's the handle. For Big Joe and the Big Rig, until we chat again, you guys be blessed.